Hello world, Jordan Sather reporting for duty. Hope you're having a good Friday. I think we're going to have a great weekend, a great May. How about just a great 2019? Beautiful time to be alive, isn't it? I think you would agree. Anyway, I'm checking in here to, so much has gone on the past few days that I'll probably be having to do a few of these live streams this weekend. And in this one, I wanted to cover Q's one drop from yesterday. We'll take a look at that. Then we'll be taking a look at a few of the things that we could expect in May of 2019, with Q saying that being the kickoff, the start, the offense against the deep state. So we'll take a look at what could be going on with, say, FISA declassification and, the good old arrests of the deep state that we're all tracking every single day. Then I want to take a look at a couple Daily Beast articles and Guardian articles. Very bad stuff. It's always good. It's always good to see what the mainstream media is trying to say, the kind of BS they're trying to spew, because it's very eye-opening, and you can gain a lot of truth and wisdom through that. What's up, y'all? Join in the chat. Hey there, everybody. Happy Friday. All right, so if somebody's saying, please don't talk about aliens. No, that UFO live stream will be later this weekend. I'll be doing a few. One on vaccines, a lot of stuff to discuss with the good old pharmaceutical situation, natural health realm. But anyway, this one, Q, be taking a look at some mainstream media articles. And then I want to take a look at the, quote, deplatforming that Infowars, connected people, that whole brand seems to be undergoing. I think there's a lot more deeper stuff going on with that situation. Anyway, starting off with some housekeeping. I want to let you guys know my website, jordansather.com. You can go sign up for the newsletter there. Just put in your email, totally free. Subscribe. You get all sorts of announcements and exclusive offers and whatnot there. And you can check out the event tab, see what I'll be up to this summer. Got some events on there. And then there's a shop tab. Get some swag. I got some Orgonite and Ormus up there. I'll be doing some more content telling you guys how these could be beneficial for you. And then I'm looking at formulating some more stuff that I could throw up on there as well. Maybe some of my own supplements and whatnot. And then shout out to a sponsor of this channel, in NOBLEGOLD. They help you invest your money into gold and silver IRAs if you want to invest it. Or you can also pick up some of their actual just gold or silver bars, coins, collectible coins, things like that. They have a sweet Donald Trump 2020 Freedom coin. I have the silver one. Gold's a little out of my price range right now, but stocking up on silver. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen over the next, few years, maybe 2 to 4 years with that restructuring of the Federal Reserve. Gold making a comeback. So, we'll see what happens through Donald Trump's second term, which I'm sure will happen with that. But anyway, Q's drop here. Get one from yesterday. Q giving us a link to a short YouTube video. And it's funny. It's of the Karate Kid, a quick 1-minute scene out of the Karate Kid. We'll talk about that in a sec. But Q says, you are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. May 2019, kickoff start offense. Offense against the deep state. When stuff really gets moving, Q's saying, enjoy the show. And I'm excited for May. I think it's going to be fun. But this Karate Kid clip here, it's a minute when Daniel walks into the dojo, the Cobra Kai dojo, and he's wanting to learn martial arts because he's been picked on by these bullies. And he walks into this dojo and figures out that, oh my gosh, it's all of the bullies that have been picking on me. He's like, oh crap, seeing these guys. So, the metaphorical component of Q linking this, it's basically when the hero in this hero's journey here, the hero figures out that he's going to have to take down the ones who have been in power, that say no mercy, those that are heartless, essentially. And Daniel having to wax on, wax off, take them down, which he eventually does in the movie. Wonderful synchronicity here. I just watched this movie a few weeks ago, so lucky me, I know what happens in it. So there's that. I think May is when karate chop the deep state. Kick them in the cabals. Ha! And Zero Hedge putting out this article today talking about William Barr and what he's saying is going to happen, investigations that are launching into this 2015 FBI spying scandal. Let's call it what it is, spying. Mainstream media trying to downplay that word. Not make it look like they've been involved in treason. And Barr basically saying that all sorts of investigations are going to start happening. And he wants to get to the bottom of many things. As Zero Hedge reports here, the Steele dossier, the what was going on with Russia probe, Justice Department, FBI, to the top levels of the Justice Department and FBI, engaged in spying, investigating the Trump campaign, etc., etc. So, as Zero Hedge reports here, is it more subterfuge or is this really happening? Yeah, it's really happening. We're going to be seeing it in the coming weeks and months, no doubt. And then you take a look at what the mainstream media, all the cover they're trying to do for this, trying to cover their own ass. They're putting out these polls, early election, hypothetical 2020 matchup polls, and you have all of these, quote, contenders, right? People are just launching their campaigns, trying to cover themselves. You know, they can claim political attack if investigations come out about them, but they won't be able to do so. You know, the evidence will be so overwhelming. But look at this. This is CNN here. 52% Beto, Trump 42%. Every single one of these, they have Trump losing, except one against Elizabeth Warren. Trying to not make it look too biased, right? But Joe Biden, 51% against 45. So literally, I have not seen anybody. I've seen zero bumper stickers, flags, signs, anything for no other 2020 contender in the race in general than Trump. So it's fake news for sure. These polls can be made up. These stats can be made up. And I don't doubt CNN would be doing that. But then you take a look at their their rallies. Trump gets how many thousands, tens of thousands of people at his rallies? Well, we saw rallies from Biden and other people lately that have been like 5% of that, if I'm being generous, 1%. And could be rent-a-crowds anyway. So they are putting out now all sorts of fake news. And you look at May, what could be coming out in May and what's coming out via the mainstream media. Of course, all these fake statistics and attack articles we'll take a look at, Daily Beast and Guardian here. But we also have a lot of partial disclosures, you know, distractions coming out of the media as well. And somebody said earlier, don't talk about ETs. A lot of people out there chimed in, do talk about UFOs, do talk about ETs. It's actually a very important topic, my friends. A lot of this hubbub we're seeing in the mainstream media right now about UFOs is a very planned distraction. Limited hangout disclosure that they're trying to wrap up as quick as they can, put that bow tie on it, and then sell it to the public. So it's very important to dissect, and I'll be doing that in another video this weekend. But anyway, let's get into these Daily Beast articles and the Guardian. The Guardian ones are fun. So this one here put out by the Daily Beast. Now remember, I believe it's Chelsea Clinton that sits on the board of directors of the company that owns the Daily Beast. So, simple fact, can show you where their lean might be. But Kelly Wheel reports here on Winston Shrout. Now, many of you out there are probably not familiar with this gentleman, but I somewhat am, not too much, but I'm familiar with some of the ideas that he talks about. And they headline this, Geezer Sovereign Citizen. That's their slur that they're throwing out about Winston. Geezer Sovereign Citizen on the lam, meaning on the run, for fake money scam. Winston Shrout gave his followers fake bills and raked in real money. I don't know what that means. Isn't the money that we use monopoly money anyway? Federal Reserve notes. But anyway, gave his followers fake bills, raked in real money until the feds cracked down on his scam. Now the 70-year-old conspiracy theorist, love that pejorative. They always love to throw in there. Conspiracy theorist is on the run. And Winston Shrout, I'll just read here. We can, see what they're saying about him. Winston Shrout is a leader in the so-called sovereign citizen movement, a loosely organized conspiracy scene whose adherents claim to be independent of the government. So the sovereign citizen stuff, it actually predates Q by a long, long time. The reason I'm featuring the Daily Beast article here is because they just try to tie this into Q as an excuse to discredit it very loosely and poorly. But the whole sovereign citizen idea, I came across that back in 2013-ish. And quite frankly, it was, during a huge awakening phase of mine, I started seeing as how us humans here basically in a massive enslavement system. And the sovereign citizen stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, the USA and all these federal agencies being registered as corporations, everything's basically a business. The world is a business. Quote from that movie. And, my mind was blown. So I got into some of the sovereign citizen stuff. And, there's, in many of these realms, topics, rabbit holes you go into, there's a lot of BS. At the same time, there could be some legitimate ideas, theories in there. And the sovereign citizen stuff, there is a lot of BS, but it's not like people into that sort of stuff think that they should live in a lawless land. It's the fact that the government's laws aren't for us, right? We do live under natural law or God's law, cosmic law, whatever you want to call it. And our governmental legal system, it's not really a law system, it's a legal system full of statutes and codes, everything they have made in these statutes, not everything, but much of it is really just to control, manage us, revenue system. Yeah, Winston Shrout, he got caught, basically. Looks like one of the people that he started to work with ended up being an agent, undercover agent with the Treasury's Inspector General's office. So they ended up arresting him. He skipped court, and then apparently he's on the run now. And because apparently Shrout was doing some videos with somebody else, I don't know who it was, that talked about Q, and you can see this article here. They make a lot of vague references to people to try to tie it into Q, but they actually don't name any names. They say multiple sovereign citizen figures with social media accounts, including at least one that made videos with Shrout while his trial was ongoing, have adopted the QAnon conspiracy theory. Let's see. I think there's a vague reference to myself in here as well. They say that somebody who talks about Q, I can't quite find it in here, suggested people go look into his theories, etc., etc. And yeah, poor tie-in to Shrout, because he has really nothing to do with Q, and they just want to make it look, the Q movement look like it's a bunch of lawless citizens, when QAnon itself never posted about Shrout or the sovereign citizen movement or anything like that. So very poor tie-in here. And then makes me think of this article that the Daily Beast ran about 5 months ago with their poster child, Will Sommer, their star writer. Trump fans sink savings into the Iraqi dinar scam. Now again, the Iraqi dinar, the idea of the revaluation and all that, Nazara, a lot of BS in that. But that's something that predates Q by years and years. Again, something else I came across in 2012-13 has nothing to do with Q. But just because I guess some Q followers out there also talk about this stuff on their Twitter accounts. Again, nothing that QAnon itself has ever referenced, the dinar revaluation of Nazara, but because Q followers out there have talked about that, then they write these articles and vaguely discuss it in a way that almost makes it seem like QAnon themselves, that operation has discussed it, but they never have. So again, poor tie-ins, and that's what these mainstream media folk often do, is make it seem like QAnon is saying things that they're really not. It's just QAnon followers out there are coming up with their own speculations or theories based on whatever evidence, running with certain narratives, and then they try to slap that onto Q itself and make it all seem wrong, but it's not. So these ideas predate Q, and they're just poor tie-ins, have really nothing to do with it. Now let's look at these Guardian articles. Okay, so the Guardian has put out 2 articles in 2 days. They're like doing an article a day now, really trying to, of course, psychological warfare on the public, put out a bunch of misinformation, propaganda to maintain that narrative. And this first one here revealed populists far more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. And this is a doozy. They go into a lot of different ideas call them conspiracy theories, of course, about vaccinations, global warming, 9/11 terrorist attacks, blah, blah, blah. And what The Guardian does is try to, of course, pin Donald Trump, the new Brazilian president, Bolsonaro in there. The Guardian is a international media outlet, so they are trying to shill for all the countries, really. I love this graph that they put. People with populist views were more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. Really? Populist views. Like popular. Are they basically admitting here that conspiracy theories are becoming popular? No doubt. That's why they have to run these articles. But look at this. Global warming is a hoax. Well, the climate is changing, no doubt, but it's not purely because of humans, as they claim. AIDS invented by the CIA. Well, AIDS could have been invented. It looks very similar to a mycoplasma, which could be a bio-warfare agent. To say it was invented by the CIA, maybe, maybe not. But see, there's always a little bit of untruth, so they can easily discredit it, that they put out there with the truth. Harm from vaccines hidden from public. Well, yeah, that definitely has been. U.S. government involved in 9/11 attacks. Maybe some people, maybe other governments as well. Maybe people involved in corporations too. Quasi-government groups, not really government, but in power. Secret group of people who rule the world. It's not really all that secret if these conspiracy theories are becoming so popular. And are they people? Who knows where they're from? Alien contact hidden from public. Well, yeah, a lot of it has, but as we're seeing now in the mainstream media, that some of that UFO contact is being given to the public. It's being admitted. Not all of it. A little bit of it. Long conversation with that one. And then official account of Holocaust exaggerated. I think the official account of just about everything is exaggerated. So there you go. They're so desperate that they have to write articles like this and then use vaccines. So many people waking up to vaccines now that that's a big part of their discrediting agenda, the propaganda that they run with. And then this one came out yesterday. Why are we addicted to conspiracy theories? Because they're so damn popular, we're just addicted to them. They're like crack, you know? Gotta get me some of those conspiracy theories. That was me like 6 years ago, not gonna lie. Not on crack, but definitely on YouTube and articles. But anyway, why are we addicted to them? And they put this graphic here. This graphic says so much. And these graphics they put with their articles are very powerful, you know? It's like memes. Memes are powerful. You can say a lot in a picture. And they have the all-seeing eye there. Speaking of Federal Reserve notes, right on the back of our dollar bills. There's that. We have a limo from JFK's assassination here. Donald Trump, of course they put him in the corner. They always try to throw Donald Trump under the conspiracy theorist bus. Apollo Moonlander, the fake moon landing hoax, another one of those they try to pump out there to confuse people. Hillary Clinton, and I mean, she deserves to be up there. Twin Towers, this ET is extraterrestrial, and let's be real, okay? There's probably only one group of ETs out there that look like this. Many of them out there look like a variety of different beings. Many of them look like us, okay? You could see a extraterrestrial walking down the street. Dude looks humanoid, blue eyes, blonde hair. Oh, hey, you think that's a human. Might not be, right? So, little things they don't tell you. It puts everything into perspective. Then they have Alex Jones here, and we're not done with Alex Jones. We'll talk about him in a minute. Boom, poster child. Again, they throw up there. For very specific reason for them. But this is a long article. It's actually a book excerpt that they put out, and it's this woman who is writing about her time on a cruise. She went on a cruise in 2015 called the Conspiracy Cruise, I believe it's called, and she's writing about her time meeting what she's claiming is all these misled people, and she only got called a CIA agent once on this whole trip, and there were a bunch of paranoid people, etc., and she's trying not to make it look like it's too much of a hit piece. But then she gets into Infowars talking about Alex Jones. They're turning the frogs gay, he famously shouted. You know, his antics are very easy for them to work into articles like this and make these ideas seem nuts. Because some of the people that espout them on that level act nuts. So It's long. This is a very long article, and throwing Trump into it, talking about the Trump era, all these crazy people, crazy conspiracists, blah, blah, blah. Not going to waste any more time or your guys' time on this. So you see what they're trying to do in the Daily Beast and the Guardian, fake news out of CNN, all because their time is coming very, very soon. And this is also why this happened. So let's take a look at this. Instagram and Facebook ban far-right extremists. Alex Jones, Infowars, a lot of people connected to Infowars, Loomer Watson, etc. They got, I think the new word is, quote, deplatformed. It's not censored, it's deplatformed. But call it what you want. One thing I do want to point out there about this is that I don't like to see this happen. You know, I've had plenty of censorship, deplatforming, whatever you want to call it, happen to myself. I've had my YouTube channel terminated twice. 6 strikes total on 2 of my YouTube channels. I don't know if anybody out there has more YouTube strikes than I do. I've had an Amazon affiliates account deleted. That was way back when. That was 2 years ago. Locked out of my Facebook account. My website DDoS'd 15, 20 times. I mean, I've pretty much had it all done to me. So I can empathize. I don't like to see it done to anybody else. All right? But we do need to analyze this and see why this possibly occurred and the deeper agenda that's going on behind it. So Alex Jones, Infowars, that clan, you know, whenever I see censorship happen with them, and let's recap here. Last summer, when the first round of Infowars censorship happened, they were claiming their website was down, that all this stuff was going on to them. Well, was their website actually down? They have this redirect page up on their website. Infowars is under attack. Please visit our other channels. But if your website is down, you're not going to be able to put up a redirect page like that. Trust me. I've had my website down before. So a lot of this censorship, a lot of this deplatforming isn't what it's cracked up to be with them. What I think's happening is that, and again, the first time Alex Jones was censored, last summer, they left up his Instagram account. They left up his website. He had his website, his newsletter. He got so much publicity out of this, so many more followers. Nothing really happened to his brand. And there's so many people on that Infowars roster, if you want to say that. So many like groupies they have that they still talk about him on Twitter. Got a bunch of blue check marks out there that still push the Infowars brand. So if Alex Jones loses his Twitter account, that's really nothing. But in the mainstream media, they can run a lot of articles about it and publicize him heavily, okay? Very important there. And the fact that Infowars and many individuals connected to it, yeah, much of what they talk about is more truthful than the mainstream media. But again, there's still a little bit of half-truths, a lot of half-truths, a lot of stuff they don't talk about. And a lot of them act pretty freaking crazy in doing it. So the controlled opposition, you know, it's something I see as controlled opposition, this brand. A lot of people out there don't like to hear that. They say, oh, look, everything Alex Jones has done for the movement. He's been doing this for 20, 30 years. Well, maybe to you, but my 6, 7 years of truth seeking and whatnot, I might have watched about 10 minutes of an Alex Jones doc, and that's it. So I don't have any sort of false idol there. You may or may not. Again, in any controlled opposition, you know, some of the controlled modus operandi is that they put out a lot of good information and then a little bit of untruths, very important untruths. So any controlled opposition outlet or individual, whether it's in ufology, whether it's Infowars, you can learn a lot from them. I'm not saying avoid them completely. I still have accounts with streaming services and watch documentaries and listen to radio shows of people who I know were influenced in some way, shape, or form, but I still learn from them. I just know that, okay, this is going to be their angle on this topic, or I'm not going to go to them if I'm researching this. I'll go somewhere else. So it's you'll learn your discernment, okay? And with this, though, yeah, it's all a big publicity show, what they're trying to do here, and drive people, because the deep state, they know the Streisand effect works. They know that by censoring, that's going to make people curious. And then this is an Atlantic article. Why is the Atlantic publicizing the deplatforming of these individuals because they want people to go to them because there's very important things they don't talk about and twists they have, right, on some of the things they do. So that is the agenda I'm seeing behind all this, you know. Just letting you guys know you can do what you want with that perspective of mine. That's just what I have to say about that. And what I have to say about all the good mainstream media, what we're going to see in May 2019, and all that jazz we went through. So that's all for this one, folks. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit here, listening to me rant a little bit, and give you guys my thoughts. I'll be back this weekend with a couple more videos. One on definitely vaccines, a lot of stuff to talk about there. Good news, some good news, and some situations I want to report on in terms of health and big pharma and that spectrum. And then we'll get into UFOs definitely in a video and look at the disclosure, the quote disclosure, big finger quotes around that one, that we're seeing in the mainstream with UFOs and whatnot. So thank you all, everybody. Be back soon. Take care.